What's going on, fresh takers? We are back with another review, and today we are going to be reviewing Love Hurts. Let's get into it. All right, so excuse me, y'all. I needed to get this out of the way and just explain this to you guys. I do apologize that I am behind on reviews. I was supposed to go to the movies last week to see a movie and do a review for, but I was not in a good way. I was sick. I got sick. I started last Wednesday. I was going to go to the movies Thursday, but started Wednesday. Thursday wasn't feeling good, so came home, rested, and you can kind of hear it in my voice. I'm still trying to get over being sick. It's been a long time since it's taken me this long to get over being sick. So I did not do a review last week. So I do apologize to you guys. I wasn't able to get one in, but I really wanted to do, I believe it was a companion. I definitely wanted to review that, but I missed it, was not feeling good. So we're back with Love Hurts. So let's talk about this movie because I feel like this movie was we're gonna unpack it. Let's say it this way. We're gonna unpack it. So Love Hurts has my guy Quay Hua Kwan. I know I butchered it, but if you guys don't know who that is, he's the lead actor for this movie. He is Data from the Goonies, and he's also I think he called him Kid in the Indiana Jones movie. Actually, my favorite Indiana Jones movie. But if you guys are familiar with '80s kids movies or anything like that, he was in those movies. So I really love him as an actor and as a person. He always has positive energy, super nice guy. So seeing him be the lead for this is what drew me to actually want to go see this movie. And also because Marshawn Lynch was going to be in it, I really wanted to see how he did in a movie. So those were the two reasons that drew me to go watch this. So to start to unpack this movie, the reason why I'm sighing is because I felt like the movie had a really good opportunity to be better than it was. And I felt like the movie and the script and how everything was put together, it got in its own way. The movie got in its own way because I felt like the actors, they chose some good actors. I mean, you had Ariana DeBose as the love interest. They had Daniel Wu from Into the Badlands. I love that guy. I definitely love that guy. We even got, come on, y'all, we got a Goonies reunion in this movie. Like, that is amazing that we got a freaking mini Goonies reunion in this movie. So I felt like the actors and actresses were a good choice, but just the way that the movie goes down, missed opportunities. So Love Hurts, for some odd reason, is really centered around Valentine's Day. So I guess the movie's about love. It's supposed to be like a rom-com action movie. Here's where I kind of get a little confused with what the message of the movie is or what they're trying to get at, because the holiday Valentine's is what this movie's really kind of centered around. But there's like a ton of different messages that they're trying to get across with this movie. There's love, there's redemption, there's revenge, there is greed, there is not living. Basically they kept saying running and hiding is not living or something like that. So not running away from your past and running away from previous situations. So there was a lot of things they were throwing out. So it kind of gets lost of what the true message of this movie is really supposed to be about. So that's one of the things that really threw me off with this movie. I feel like the base of the story, as far as what happened, not a bad storyline. It just could have been executed better. Here's where I really had an issue with the movie, and this was really just the writers and the director choosing to go this route. The movie kind of just automatically jumps you into their present and what's going on with Quan's character's named Marvin. So it kind of just jumps you into who, Marvin, what he's doing now, and they immediately don't waste any time for Ariana's character Rose to say she's back, and she's like, her introduction was her getting off of a bus, and that was kind of a weird introduction. She writes on Marvin is a really well-known, respected realtor, real estate agent, and he has his picture on a bus bench, and she draws a mustache on his face and stuff. And that was basically her introduction. So her introduction was really weird, didn't really make sense. And then they just kind of jump you into what's going on with these characters now, and they try to explain the background. And you guys have watched some of my old reviews. I hate when you try to explain previous situations, and explaining it doesn't help us get a grasp of why we should care right now. And this is another example of that. They didn't give us a flashback until like midway through the movie, basically. And even when they gave us the flashback, it still didn't make sense. It still really didn't make sense. It did make sense why Marvin, was in love with Rose, and why Rose was in love with Marvin. They said that Rose was the lawyer for the bad, the big bad in the movie, which is Marvin's brother Knuckles, played by Daniel Wu. They explained that she was his lawyer, but they kind of explained what Marvin's role was within like their whole gang or enterprise or whatever you want to call it. But they didn't explain why, what happened with why Marvin and Rose were really into each other, or, why we should really care about their relationship. It just kind of threw it out there that, he saved her life by, telling her just basically disappear, don't ever come back because my brother wants to kill you, yada, yada, yada. And then she basically comes back for revenge. They didn't explain how long ago this was. Was it a year? Was it 4 months ago? We don't know. Was it a week ago? They did not really even give us a time period, like a time frame, which is so simple. Just tell us how long ago it was, because it wasn't really adding up and making sense. It really wasn't. I know I'm gonna be crapping on a lot of this movie. I feel bad because ultimately, even though it was really clunky, there was some really good elements to it. So I will get to that in a second, but I really want to get kind of all the cons out first. So the other thing that I really did not like, Daniel Wu is, I really like him as an actor. I really like, you know, his acting skills and everything he brings to the table. This was the first time I got to see him as a bad guy in a movie or TV show or whatever. And I feel like they really weakened his character for the sake of the storyline and what they had to put in there to explain things. It made him look really weak in some areas. And I felt like that was a missed opportunity with his character, because he did a good job, but it was just some weird stuff. Like, he was really obsessed with boba tea, like, and he was stabbing people with the straw, and it was just like, it was really weird. And like I said, a lot of the storyline made him look weak, and I didn't like that. If he's supposed to be the big boss, he's supposed to be the bad guy. They made him look a little bit stronger at the end, a little bit. But for the majority of the movie, you're like, what were y'all thinking with this storyline? Because basically almost everybody that works for him are, taking money from him and doing this and doing that under his nose, and he has no idea. It's like, y'all do realize that trying to do this story the way that you're doing it, you are making the bad guy look really weak. And they tried to make up for it towards the end at the climax. There was a fight scene. They tried to make up for it, but by then it's kind of too late. It's kind of too late. And there are some other things that I can't really ruin the movie for you guys. I try to do spoiler free, so there's some other things they do that try to make up for that, but it's kind of too little too late at that point. So that's some of the cons I have with the movie. Now, to get to some of the good parts, I really did like the action. For this to be a rom-com action, I did like the action. I could have used a little bit more. I could have used just a little bit more. Could use just a little bit more, but I actually did like the action. There is like the first action scene for this movie. I really like some of the shots, some of the different things they try to do with the camera shots for the fight sequences. It was really fun. I really, really liked Marshawn Lynch in this movie. His character's name's King. It's him and a guy named Otis, played by Andre Erickson. They are a really good duo. I could honestly do another, or maybe like a short. I would love to see more of the two of them together. I really do like their chemistry. They were kind of the comic. Majority of the comic relief came from those two characters, especially Marshawn Lynch. Marshawn Lynch, if you guys aren't familiar with him, he really is a funny individual in real life. And so it really was cool to see him be able to portray that in a movie. It really didn't feel like he was acting. It was kind of funny with some of the stunts, them trying to Marshawn Lynch. Not a lot of people are built like him, so it's kind of funny to see where some of the angles they took to hide his stunt double. It wasn't like super apparent, but it's just stuff that I pay attention to. So it was kind of funny to see that because there's not a lot of people built like him. But it was he was very refreshing. He was a great add to this movie. Whoever decided to cast him in this, I don't know if he had to, work to get this or they offered him the part, but whoever picked him, they did a great job because I really did like him in this movie. I did like that there was kind of like a redemption story with Marvin, the lead character, and just being an overall good person. There were some other people in the movie that I think did a good job, but they just didn't really get enough. They didn't get enough, time or plot within the story to do something. Rise Darby. I don't know if you guys know who that is. He's, I think, Australian. He's in this movie as well. He is really funny to me. If you guys have seen Jim Carrey's Yes Man, his boss at his loan job. Oh my God, he's really funny to me. He's really funny, and he was in this movie, and I hate that he didn't really get a ton of screen time because I think he would have been an even funnier addition to this movie. But I get it, they were really trying to tell a story and get in, get out. But I felt like he could have got more screen time than there were two actors in the movie. There's an assassin called the Raven, and Marvin's like assistant or employee. They kind of have their own little mini story within here, and it's cool. I honestly would have gave some of their screen time to Darby because he really is funny, and I felt like he didn't really get to let out all of his comedic talents. But that's just me. That's just my preference. I felt like if you're going to cast him, give him some more time. So overall, I feel like it wasn't a terrible movie. It was one of those movies where it wasn't terrible, but they had some opportunities to really elevate this movie, and I felt like it was kind of a clunky mess a little bit. And it's unfortunate because Quan, I really like him as an actor, and to see him actually, this is the first time. I know he won an award for another movie I didn't get a chance to see, But to see, my first time seeing him as Dad in the Goonies and seeing him now as a lead character for this movie, he's doing, karate and kung fu and whatever you want to call it. That was really cool to see. That was really cool to see. He is the person that I said in the beginning of why I wanted to see this movie in the first place. So they had my attention, they had my interest, but they didn't fully capitalize on some opportunity to really make this an even better movie. It's not god awful, it's not terrible, it's just some missed opportunities. So I hope that makes sense, because there are some movies that are just bad. They're just bad and they shouldn't have ever been made. I'm not going to say that's this movie, but they just, I could see the potential in the movie if things were done a little bit better. If we would have gotten more elaborate flashback in the beginning of the movie, we probably could have been more connected to the story, to the characters that were involved. If things were done differently concerning, the big boss of the movie, it would have elevated even more. Honestly, more Marshawn Lynch wouldn't hurt either. He was really good in this movie. He was great. So if they would have changed just a couple of things, this movie really could have been even better. So like I said, not terrible, but could have executed just a little bit better. So if I had to give this a rating, I'm gonna give it a 7.1. I'm gonna give it a 7.1. I feel like that's being a little generous, but I feel like if I go any lower, that's really slapping this movie in the face, and I don't want to do that. I'm not gonna go back to the movies to watch it, but when it comes out, I'd watch it again, just because Quan. Like I said, I really like him as an actor. I would love to see Marshawn Lynch more, because his character, he did a great job and he was really funny. So I would watch it for that. Outside of that, the missed opportunities. It brings it down. It really had a shot to be amazing. Well, I wouldn't say amazing, but it really had a shot to be better than what it was. And it kind of, missed this mark. And that's okay. It's okay. We still love you guys. Quan, we still love you, man. I want to see him in more lead acting roles, because he's a good actor. And I believe whatever character he's playing, I believe it. So that should tell you something. Y'all know how I am. I'm about believability. If I don't believe what you're doing, you lost me. So he's a good candidate to be in some more lead roles. I would love to see him in some more stuff. And I really don't pay attention that much. Ariana DeBose, she is gorgeous. I don't really know what else she's been in. I know she went viral for that song or whatever she did at the one of the award shows, about Angela Bassett did the thing. I'm gonna see if I can find that clip and put it in there. Angela Bassett did the thing. She's freaking gorgeous. I feel like her character was a little all over the place, just a little bit. That's why I felt like a flashback would have helped explain some of the things, because it didn't add up that she was the lawyer for Quan's brother in the movie, but then all of a sudden at the end she can fight and shoot. Like, that's why I'm like, give us a time frame of how long ago all this takes place to the present day, because it would have made sense if she would have, came back for revenge and now she's learned all these things, but we don't know how long it took her to learn this stuff, and it just was a lot. It was a lot. And then for her to be a lawyer, she didn't necessarily act kind of like a lawyer. She was more. I'm not even gonna keep going, guys. I'm not gonna keep going, because I feel like I'm really crapping on the movie, and I'm not trying to. I'm just saying that this movie could have been really up here, and it was kind of like, eh. So it happens. It happens. I would say. I would say go see it. If you miss it, is it gonna hurt? No. But I would go see. I mean, I went and saw it, and I wouldn't say I, didn't enjoy myself, but obviously the gears in my mind were turning of all the things that were, to me, missed and could have been better. So that's just me. But I appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys are being safe out there. Once again, please like, please share, please subscribe. I really appreciate it. Trying to do some things with my Patreon, trying to get some things figured out. I haven't really been getting a ton of people joining, and that's okay. And here's the reason why it's okay. I really have some great news, and I hope, I'm still trying to get everything figured out. But I will be moving into my own house. I've been staying here with my parents as I'm trying to build my own house. So I'm going to be moving into my home soon. So I'll have my own studio. It'll be really pretty. I'll try to keep you guys updated with how that looks and all that stuff. So I'm trying to make sure I have internet and everything up and running as soon as I move in, so that way that I can keep this ball rolling. So I am going to be in a new space. Really excited about that. So once I'm in my own space and have things set up how I want to, I know that I will be able to do more with my Patreon, all that stuff. So I really appreciate you guys sticking with me. I love each and every one of you guys. Please, 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 please go subscribe. Go subscribe. If you guys aren't going to do Patreon right now, that's fine. But I need you to subscribe if you're watching this, okay? Love you guys. You guys be safe. I will see you guys later. Peace.